Okay, hello there ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Alea Acta Est, as we play the first Punic War. So, it's going to be rather interesting. The Punic Wars were a incredibly devastating series of wars. This is just the first. It's a very long campaign, so I don't know if I'll ever finish this, but we'll play a little while. Just maybe have about an hour, see how that goes. So, this scenario covers the entirety of the Titanic fight opposing the Roman Republic and the great commercial city of Carthage. In a war lasting from 264 to 241 BC, the Romans must rush forces to Sicily in order to save their Mamertine allies in Massana, first ensuring themselves a future safe passage to the Straits. Indeed, so we have to develop a war fleet, which will be essential to blockade ports and thus seize Sicily. King Hero of Syracuse could change camp if his city is threatened. The Carthaginians must capture Massana and repulse Roman attacks to preserve its alliance with Syracuse, which could possibly pass into the Roman camp if the legions approach the city too closely. Okay. There we go, that is the first Punic War. We also have war between ourselves and the Volsinii. The important and rich Etruscan city of Volsinii was driven by dissension between members of the upper classes and their former slaves, who soon seized power with the help of their lower classes. The Volsinian nobles then asked Rome for military assistance in 265 BC. The Senate was worried by the plebeian power, indeed, and decided to support the Volsinii ruling class. A consular army was sent there to crush the demagogue government. Okay, so we have the first consul over here, the first consul. We have Marcus Fulvius Flaccus, and he shall lead the first legio. Okay, so we need to march on the Volsinii and crush the city there. Now, the issue is that we have absolutely no power at sea. At least we do have some power at sea, but it's going to be extremely limited compared to that of Carthage. So if we take a look here at the sea, we do have a decent fleet over here. It is locked, however, for the moment in time. The Greek city of Massala. Righto. So, if we were to raise our own fleet, obviously we'd have to spend a long time doing that, and it would be very difficult. We do have Roman ally triremes. Indeed. These are the ones that we want to raise. So these cost us about 150 denarii. Are we still using denarii? What are we using in term? We'll call it denarii for the time being. Roman money has gone through many changes. Okay. So we could start by building up ourselves some funds here. We could go with some requisition. Yeah, denarii, that's good to know. Okay, so engagement points, we have 1. We gain 1 per turn. Right, let's check on the actions of the Imperator. So, we can appoint a praetor, we could attempt a night crossing. Interesting. So we can only use this once. Okay. So we need to get across to Massana, otherwise we will never have this chance again. How fast could we march? We could be there in 31 days. If we force march the Legios, we might be there sooner. Okay, let's see. Right, so force march, how fast could we be there? 24 days if we force march. What are the limits then? Right, only in 264 BC. Right, we'll take that now so we can actually cross. I don't want to take a praetor right now. Right, we could raise some money here. It costs us some national morale, engagement points and victory points. Though we do gain 200 denarii, it does cost us in terms of inflation. Okay. So a bit of background here. So, when in 272 BC, Rome seizes Tarentum, the conquest of the peninsula is complete. Despite this, the Republic does not have any goals on the other side of the Strait of Sicily, as since decades, several treaties negotiated with Carthage have clearly delimited the zones of influence, and each one has always honoured them. However, things evolve quickly in Sicily. Since the departure of King Petrus of Pyrrhus, the eastern part of the island under the Greek influence recedes in the face of Carthaginian progress. Even Syracuse, frequently engulfed in its own internal conflicts, does not know anymore how to face this mortal danger. The Punic political influence, as well as the power of their fleet and trade, is always increasing. Sicily seems condemned. Okay. So our consul here, leading the 3rd Legio. Appius Claudius... Is it Claude? Claudi? Pius Claudius Caudex. He will hopefully be able to force march the Legios to Sicily. In terms of power, there is a fairly large Etruscan base here. The consular army should be able to defeat that fairly easily. We do need to be careful of the Gauls to the north. Okay, so we need to gather the fleet. We can't move them yet. The Carthaginians will no doubt secure power in the south if we do not cross quickly. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to build up money. Let's see. So we're going to have to go with requisition. So the effects of this are a loss of victory points. It reduces the loyalty. So we'll use this in regions where we don't need to worry too much about loyalty. Well, obviously I do need to worry about loyalty here, but well. Okay. Now we could use some engagement points over here. Actually no, that's 75,000 denarii, so a little bit too expensive for the moment in time. Could we raise any further legions? No, we could raise allies, however. We'll wait until the following turn, and then we'll see how much funds Rome's coffers sit at. Then we can start possibly the naval build-up. Okay. So we'll have our consuls lead their armies. And we'll see how we get on. That's good, we managed to make it. That's really quite important. So apparently we failed the force march, but we were nonetheless able to make it. Okay, so we've begun a campaign to impose requisitions to the local population. Okay. The garrison... Oh, shite! Right. Huh. That complicates matters. I do love a challenge though, so this is good. I enjoy this. So, we do have our actual Roman fleet over here, led by an admiral. And now the slaves. We shouldn't have an issue holding on to Tarentum. There's a good amount of forces there. Yeah, these two cities should be fine. It's going to cause some issues, but we'll deal with it in time. We need to deal with the Etruscans first, the Volsinii, and then we'll return to the south of Italy and deal with them. I do need to get a fleet out here so we can blockade the city of Volsinii, so I can bring a siege to a quick and decisive end. Now, we are somewhat lacking on terms of cohesion. So what we're going to do then is, we're going to build a depot here. We do have supply, but I'm going to build up a depot so we can increase the amount. We're going to go on the defensive and just hold on for the time being. If we can dig in, that'd be nice. I mean, we do have mountainous terrain here, which is fantastic for us to dig into. Okay, so for the time being, we're just going to have to wait. I could spend some cash on raising some allied forces in Italy. Yeah, so we basically have a allied legion, which should be fairly handy, so we'll raise that. I'll have it raised over down here in the south. I'll raise some supplies along with that. Okay. Have them inside the city to protect them. Okay, so we are lacking on victory points at the moment in time. Morale is still good, we only have one engagement point left at this moment in time. So we can't use Imperator. Well, I can use Imperator to select a Praetor. Okay. Yes, this force needs to be dealt with. I mean, I could attempt to storm the city, but that won't work until we have a breach. So for the time being, we're just going to have to live with it and raise more forces to begin the process of clearing Italy of the slave rebellions and also of the Etruscan upstarts. I do need to march on Syracuse, so we could try to bring the Syracusans to our banner. Most importantly, King Hyrule. Right. It was important for me to gain access to Sicily. If we didn't do it in 264, we probably never would have been able to. Is the game loud enough for you guys watching? I might be able to turn it up if you like. Do let me know. Okay, nothing achieved at Volsinii. The Carthaginians have raised more money. We do have some diplomatic options here. Okay, we gained 30 denarii here from the market. Right. Diplomacy. Massala supported Rome. This option will allow you open access to Massalia and territory. At the cost of engagement points, Massalan units will be unlocked only if Carthage invades their territory by land. Okay, so that's far too expensive at the moment in time, but we can bear that in mind for the future. So should these lands be invaded by Carthage, then we will be able to gain the support of the Greeks over here. And have their forces unlocked, which will be very, very useful. Okay, so the slaves are not making any progress at this moment in time. They'll be dealt with soon enough, once the Etruscans fall here in the north. Okay, so that's fairly... it's not too bad. A couple of hoplites. Cavalry. I mean, this is the army that we definitely need to worry about. This game is Alea Acta Est, basically translates into the Dice Cast. It's a geode game that focuses on Rome, and, well, basically Roman civil wars and Roman wars with, like, Parthia, Gauls, Samnite Wars, Carthage. It's pretty cool. It's very interesting. It'd be nice if they made a more up-to-date version, just bring the game engine up to date. It's a little bit unstable sometimes. Okay. I may be tempted to actually appoint automated production. Mostly, well, just automated production of reinforcements, possibly, would definitely help us out. Okay. I'll start the construction of a trireme squadron. Right, engagement points. So I could spend 150,000 denarii. The decision generates these assets, 10 victory points and 5 engagement points. It would increase loyalty in the area, but it's incredibly expensive. Okay. Can't afford that at the moment. Oh, then again, would I be able to spend it? No, not right now. I could go for more requisitions to forcefully gain some more denarii, but it's not worthwhile. Subversion I can't use at this moment. Pax Romana I could use, but we'll save it for the time being. Okay. So how long before we have that allied legion? Okay, about 60 days, so about 2 more turns. Volsinii is at siege at the moment, in a state of siege. Hopefully we can achieve a breakthrough and then be able to assault through and clear the city out. In all honesty, I would prefer the Carthaginian forces in Sicily to attack me at Massana. It would definitely help me out. I mean, the amount of strain there is absolutely fantastic. The consul army there should hopefully start to dig in. The issue is we don't have an opportunity to send further reinforcements due to the Strait of Messina being occupied at the moment. Well, then again, I could attempt a night crossing. It still is 264 BC, and we have spent those engagement points, so we should still be able to get some forces across in this year. Though we don't have long to do so. In all honesty, if we... Right, we do have the siege over here. It's partially damaged. Right. It's not quite a breakthrough yet. It's getting there, but we need a actual true break in the walls. Otherwise, we are going to lose a lot of casualties. I need you down here where we can start to build up the Roman navy. Okay. So we've got triremes. Okay, we need that breakthrough. Right. Okay, the Mamertines. I can't have them sally forth should we be attacked here due to the fact that they're still locked, which is a shame. So we inflicted 15 hits to the enemy during the siege of Volsinii. The good thing is, because obviously we had siege in the city, we are causing somewhat large amounts of damage to the garrison there. So, to be honest, I could wait until the city was surrendered. Yeah, it looks like a minus. I don't know if it's actually meant to represent a minus next to the date there, 264, or whether it just indicates that the years go down rather than up, as people would imagine. Okay, it looks as though they're attacking us at Massana. Now, the second consul army there in Massana isn't set in offensive position. And, yeah, it might be worth us doing so at this point in time. The main Carthaginian army is some way away. It looks as though they are facing a plebeian revolt over here. You can play as... well, in this scenario, it's obviously dictated by the actual scenario rules. So we can either play as Rome or Carthage. I have chosen Rome for this time being. Okay. Mamertines are still not active. Delayed 2 days before moving, but we still managed to gather them. Okay, so we have a fleet of 167 ships over here now. Okay, they need to be saved. Dear. The issue is we still haven't got a breakthrough yet. The region has been pillaged as well, so we're going to start to use our supplies over here instead of living off the land. The issue is I would put the fleet out to sea, but I'm not sure about the Carthaginian fleet position. I do not want my fleet destroyed by the Carthaginian navy. Not now. Okay, so we'll go with a feint probe attack. So basically, a feint probe is your side will want to call off the attack starting with the second round unless the defender is collapsing, and the chances to succeed in doing so are greatly increased. Okay, so both sides do have significantly fewer losses, however. Right, see now we don't have much in the way of cash, so let's see. Production, need to keep our replacements up. Is there anything I can recruit? I could recruit some Roman allied equites. Right. They're fairly cheap, actually. They could be fairly handy in the future, but we'll hold on for now. This scenario is depicting the First Punic War. Right, 4 engagement points, so not too much left at the moment, so we'll hold on, allow that to build up. And possibly the next time we could appoint a praetor. Would be fairly handy for leading some local forces, like the forces we're raised in Tarentum. Okay, Roman victory. I'd rather not have lost just under 1,000 men, but we still have had victory. And we remove them from Masana. I do need to begin marching on Syracuse itself. Right, we do have the position of the Carthaginian fleet, which is definitely around here, and they have a massive fleet. There's absolutely no way I can challenge that. I mean, yeah, you compare the size of that, so we have, what, 4 squadrons? Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Is not gonna happen. Here we go. So the city has finally given up. Carthage surrendered to us in the region of Volsinii. It's obviously not Carthage as such, it's just represented them as part of that faction. So, we gain 55 victory points and a morale point. Sweet. Okay, so we can begin to march the consular army down here. How deep is the political system? Was it more focused on the war and warfare? Well, there is something of politics in here to a degree. It depends on the events, really. This is depicting the First Punic War, but there is a number of scenarios depicting civil wars, and there is such a thing as politics. It's a little bit abstracted. Well, it's quite abstracted, obviously, due to how the game works, but it's predominantly warfare. Though it is a little bit deeper than that. Like, for example, we have King Hero, or Hiro, of Syracuse. If we were to march upon Syracuse, we could have him join our faction, or our camp. And the Carthaginians ideally want to prevent me from heading to Syracuse. Okay. So again, some volunteers, so line and militia replacements plus 5 each. Yeah, so we got some spare. Fantastic. Okay, so Marcus will be there in about 15 days. So we'll set the Legio to a sustained attack, and then once they're done over there, we can have them march down south to deal with the slaves. So in about a month, they might be able to clear this up. Depends, really. At least the Carthaginians are having issues with slave revolts as well. They do need to deal with Africa as well. I believe the Numidians are possibly something of a problem. It looks as though they retreated into the countryside, so we'll have to hunt them down later. Okay, it looks as though the slaves have evaded us, but we have lifted the siege. Right, we need to hunt them down. Alright, I want you on a defensive stance. If you could start to dig in, that would be fantastic. Right, being blockaded. Good, more volunteers. So we did suffer some attrition. Is this allied? Yeah, the allies are now ready. So we can have the allies march out over here. Have them merge those forces. Okay. Right, what we're going to do here is we're going to spend some national morale and some engagement points and start to raise more denarii. I need to build up the fleet and possibly more forces. There's also the possibility that we may want to start building up roads or possibly waterworks. There's a couple of ways to gain engagement points. I do also need to cross the Straits of Messana before 264 ends. I don't know if we'll be able to do that due to these slave rebellions. Otherwise the door will be permanently shut. Right, there we go, we destroyed them. So King Hero. Okay, looks like the slave's been dealt with. So we have a short amount of time. Or it appears that we don't have any time now to do so. So yes, we're unable to aid our fellow consular army across the straits there. So I'll have this army march to Roma. They can enter the city of Rome then, just to rest for the time being. Right, we've ranged some funds. Okay, bad trade news from the west. That's no good. I'd feel a lot more secure about marching out with the consular army in Sicily if I knew I could get reinforcements there. The possibility is that I would be able to sneak by, but we need the Carthaginian fleet out of the area. I could put my fleet to sea and have them sort of engage in a feint, though disengaging a naval battle is pretty difficult. Gain some replacements over there, that's handy. Oh. Okay, yeah, that was weird. Apparently, stream stopped there for a moment. Apologies about that. That's rather weird. Okay. I think this stream should be okay now. I am definitely considering marching out here. Oh, I could raise some allies over here actually, so I think I will do. Right, it's going to cost us a decent amount of money, but that's definitely worthwhile. If I can get some reinforcements there, I'll feel a hell of a lot better about marching out. Right, we'll hold up in Capua for the time being, just to recover those losses and also to build up supplies again. Okay. We may have a chance to cross from Rhegium to Massana during the winter, actually. The winter storms are incredibly deadly. Ah, here we go. Capture of a Punic warship. Until they catch a Punic ship which ran aground on the Italian coast, the Romans had no real concept other than the Italiate trireme to oppose Carthaginian vessels. This grounded quinquereme will revolutionize the construction of a Roman war fleet. Oh damn it, the slaves are active again. Indeed, they're being fairly problematic. Okay, we'll use the consular army here in Capua to deal with this. Though it seems like the weather is not in our favour right now. Should be. 51 days, why are you being so lethargic? Okay. We'll wait for our allies to finish their training and then we'll be able to march out. So be able to increase the number of men to 21,000, possibly more than that. Actually, it should be a few more than that. Yeah, by a couple hundred. That's good. So these guys are mountain fighters, so they do enjoy a combat bonus in bad terrain, which is pretty much Sicily in a nutshell. I'm not seeing any Carthaginian activity to the south of France. I'm definitely worried about the Gauls to the north wall. To the north, though. So I suppose it is for the best to keep a second consular army in Italy itself. It is definitely our power base. Though if we are pushed out of Sicily, the Carthaginians only need to hold Sicily for 2 years, and then the game is up. Okay, we finished building that. So doing it right, so we don't have the option to build a quinquennium yet. We might do in the future. Carthage spend 400 denarii to gain influence by playing on the price of purple. Right, our consuls have been replaced for this year. Okay. So, we have Manius Valerius Maximus Massala. He's a decent commander. We have Fulvius Flaccus Accitus. God, I wish I could speak Italian. Oh, Latin. Latin would definitely help. Right, these forces will be ready very soon. Oh no, they are ready now, actually. I could wait for their cohesion to increase, which I think I'd be better off doing. The month is March, so we're not going to be facing much in the way of adverse weather. So we'll give it another month, another 30 days for our allied forces to recover their cohesion, and then we can march down towards Syracuse. There's a lot of risk-reward with that. It very much depends on how the engagement goes with Carthaginian army. It might be worth it for us to take out the smaller Carthaginian army. Never mind if we see the main Carthaginian army marching. Depending where they could... hello, we have the Carthaginian fleet there. Right, we might have a chance to get the second consular army into Sicily. Having 2 reinforced consular armies would definitely give us an edge. I don't know if it would allow us to defeat the Carthaginian army in the field, but it should give us a damn well good shot at it. The issue is here that we have the Carthaginian and Sicilian armies, well, Syracusian armies merging. So support may very well be required in Massala. Okay. Yes, that's quite a powerful force. Okay, bugger these slaves. 106 days. God damn, man. I could use my opportunity here to move to Neapolis. Or Neapolis. Right, evade combat. I suppose the smarter option, instead of moving the vast majority of the fleet, would be to actually have them... I mean, they do have the potential if we move them to Rhegium. The issue, if I move them to Rhegium, I might be locked over here. But it is a different sea tile to the Straits of Messina. Right, we'll have them move down here. Though, how long would it take the consular army to move there? That would take 75 days. And from here, they would be there in 22 days. Okay. So we'll keep them here. Once the army arrives, we might be able to have them board the ships. So what we're going to do then is we're going to have this squadron try to make it. We could have them go around Sicily, but the risk there is even greater than going through the Straits of Messina. If we're quick, we might be able to... Ooh, hello. Okay. So we have possibly Carthaginian army considering landing. Okay. Let's march back up to Rome as soon as possible. Depending on how the situation develops, we might be able to take advantage of this. But for the time being, we'll have the squadron here try to make it down to Tarentum. Well, Tarentum being over here, I'm talking about the city, but I can't pronounce that one. Metipontum. Metipontum. Amentapontum. Okay, here we go. So we could develop a military port in Ostia. Or Ostia. Volsinii, region east of Rome. Interesting. I could develop a military port down here. As that's 250,000 denarii and 10 engagement points. I can't afford it for the moment in time. We'd only have to wait a couple turns though before we could do something like that. So I think we will. I think once we have that military port, then I'd probably be able to start the production of quinqueremes. Okay. Where are they going? They're going to be landing troops somewhere. The thing is, I'm sending the consular army north to Rome itself. So we might be caught out here. Well. That's scary. Right. So we have Hannibal there. Right, so Hannibal is bringing an army of 73,000 men. Obviously that's including the triremes and the naval squadrons. That's that's dangerous. That is dangerous. So we have a possible Carthaginian incursion into Italy somewhere. We don't know when, we don't know where it could be, but the possibility presents itself. Okay. While the Carthaginian forces are over here in the north of Sicily, it might be definitely worthwhile for us to march upon Syracuse. So I think we're going to go for that now. We do have the mercenaries, well, we do have our allies over here, which increases our numbers to 26,000. Ah dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, I don't know where the Carthaginian force is. So what we're going to have to do then is hold on here for the time being. Right, we'll build up a depot. Right, only 7 engagement points. Can I raise any further forces in Italy itself? Not particularly. First gladiator fight. The first time in Rome, patrician Decius Junius Brutus gave a public game of gladiators in honor of his deceased father. This Etruscan tradition was later adopted by Rome. Okay. So he did lose his squadron, but then again they were incredibly outnumbered. Need to hold on for those engagement points. I could spend some of this denarii in raising more engagement points, but I do need to hold on to denarii for the possibility of a Carthaginian incursion into Italia itself. Which, the threat is there. I do feel I was right to stay in Metapontum. They may land their forces at Tarentum, or just south of Tarentum. The loyalty over here isn't exactly great. Okay, we are marching. Okay, rather than risk going further forward, what we'll do then is we'll hold our position here. Could I raise more supply over here? I can, so we're going to spend some of that denarii. I'll have these supply convoys housed within Masana itself. And then we should be able to resupply with more supplies. Hopefully. Right, we do have a depot down here now. Okay. Yeah, so we're blocked by enemy positions in the Carthaginian countryside. We might be able to force Catania to give in. Which would be nice. If we could take another city, we'd be just on the outskirts of Syracuse itself. We'd have a city to fall back into should we need supply. Right, looks as though they're marching on Masana. Okay. There's a few possibilities here. If they march onto Masana, then I do have the possibility to march out from Catania. At least the region of Catania. And march upon the Carthaginian armies in a field where their main army is busy at Masana. The army in Masana may take losses due to disease from the siege. Hopefully that would be ideal. The issue is here we have to be incredibly careful regarding our one city. Okay. And now we are in a precarious position here. I think we only have one choice, and that is to march on Syracuse itself. If we can force King Hero to side with us, we'd gain a precious piece of city. Yeah, precious piece of Sicily and a powerful ally. Okay. Wow, that fleet. That fleet and that army. It's just so dangerous. It's like having a blade over our heads. Right, we still don't have enough engagement points to build up the military production of navies. Okay, so we'll march on Syracuse. Hopefully we can try to force King Hero to side with us. It does look as though they're going to disembark their forces. Okay, that's interesting. And they're disembarking into Sicily. Okay, that's not good. They're further reinforcing their position. The problem is our position in Sicily is very tenuous, and we have no way to resupply or to reinforce the armies there other than by the locals. Okay, at least we destroyed the slaves. Bloody slaves over here again. I do somewhat regret raising, well, requisitioning Denari now. Though, no matter. So we have the option now, so we're going to go with Neolopolis. Jesus. Ah, dear. The city is put to siege. Right, we do have a lot of power here. I may have to turn that upon them. So blocked by enemy positions in the Catanian countryside. We also have a drought in Alea. That's not good. Okay, we need to march back upon Masana. Right. What I'll do here is I'll dispatch a allied force. They can deal with the slave rebellions. If the Carthaginian fleet leaves, we need to take the opportunity to cross the straits and cross into Sicily. It could horrifically backfire. Though the issue is, if the Carthaginians approach Rome, there is the chance that I will gain legions. It's one of the things is that I'm the dominant land power, but the Carthaginians are the dominant naval power. Right, they just moved in their large army here. This could go extremely poorly, or it could go extremely well. Okay, we achieved a Roman victory. That did go fairly well. I mean, we do have the superior general. Not by... Well, then again, no, I'd say he is slightly better. I think it's down to the quality of the forces. The thing is, the legions are powerful in of themselves, but if they're too heavily outnumbered, then obviously they can't do it. So, I mean, what did they have here? Celtic, African. In the Syracuse and Hoplites, I'd imagine being quite powerful. If we take a look at the detailed log here, we can see what happened. I mean, this was quite a long battle here, 6 rounds. Okay. The Legio suffered a little bit. We did inflict some damage though. Inflicted damage. Yeah, seems their men showed signs of cowardice. They were fatigued. And the legions are strong. Right, now these are the strong forces. Yeah, signs of cowardice. Oh, okay. That's odd. Apparently didn't like that. Oh, okay. This is what I'm talking about by the game being a little bit unstable. So apparently I'm going to have to fight that battle again. Hopefully I can win it again, but we'll see. Yeah, this is why I would like an updated version of this game, Alea Jacta S. It's fantastic, it's just, it needs an engine update. The Aegean games are just, they're just so unstable. Sometimes it's just crazy. Hopefully we can achieve the same results or better. I'll process the game, that'd be good too. Anytime. Okay, doesn't seem like the game is wanting to play ball. So we'll leave it here for today, ladies and gentlemen. I apologise about my horrific commentary. I swear sometimes I just can't speak English. But yes, this has been a glimpse of Alea Jacta S. I might continue it in the future, hopefully get the game running again. So until next time, thank you for watching. I hope to see you very soon. And do subscribe for more if you enjoyed this. Goodbye for now.